Hello, I'm Will Forge, and today we will forge. My mic is over to the side. I apologize if that was very muffled. Let's put this back where it goes. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. And switch it to live chat. Go over to the other thing. Live chat. There we can see people talking. That'll be great. Okay. And okay, so here is what I've just been doing a bunch of little things here and there, nothing done yet. For this room, for example, I wouldn't call this room done yet. But anyway, what I'm like, the walls especially, the walls need to be done before this will feel right, because this room is it's all about these different like heights, you know. Like the slope up, and then up there, and then all that. So the walls not being uniform, or not being like unified, I guess, in their visual design, and being just sort of like the lines are not even lining up with the thing. That's making it feel very, very off right now. That's the main thing that's throwing this off. Once this is no longer the most interesting thing in the room, these will like bleed into the background. They'll actually be cool looking. But right now they look like they're out of place. You know what I mean? But that's because the whole place looks wrong. But anyway, right now. Okay, so, because it's just not detailed yet, that's all. But yeah, so we set up these round doors. And first Ripshade did one, and then I found this object, which is a little bit more subtle. The one that Ripshade had set up, which was just the cylinders, had poked out too much over here, or the rings rather, ring objects. Oh, it doesn't occur to me to use Forerunner rings. I think that's mainly because they look a little bit unrefined in their let's see, let's try them. Let's try the Forerunner rings, because I was trying. This is a pipe that's like stretched up really big, and you can't do the straightaway pipe can't shrink down to be flat like this. So I did a Y-shaped pipe. Here, I'll just show you real quick. This is a Y-shaped pipe with the top piece just up toward, one of the directions just up toward the top. So that created this circle that was very useful for like a doorway, right? And you can use this for all sorts of different things. But the thing about it is that it still pokes out a little bit. That's not the main problem. The main problem is that it pokes out downward, and it's way too big for that one. Like, ideally, we would have another one over there, right? But it's poking down through the ground too much. And if I bring it up, then the doorway will start to slowly close up the entry area there. So I undid deleting that last time, and I just left it there so I could talk to Ripshade about it. But now it did just occur to me, because I was thinking there wasn't another ring in here unless someone else knows of one. But then I realized just now, Forerunner Totem Ring A is a completed ring, and if you scale it down and you set that texture to concrete, and then we meld it into a wall, we can try and get rid of the sort of like bumpiness of it. Gravel. Okay, let's see. We are on one of the coolest themes. Okay, concrete raw. Let's see, Forerunner trim, Forerunner metal. Okay, we're gonna change that in a minute, but first let's turn off this grime being so high. We'll bring it down to 0 just for now. We'll figure out an actual proper grime amount in a minute. Forerunner trim. This is probably the ring to go with. We're gonna go with a UNSC. Run Forerunner trim panels 2. Let's go with UNSC. Let's just go UNSC trim and see what that looks like. Well, it doesn't look bad, but not great either. Ooh, that one looks a little bit better. I mean, that's just a different color change, isn't it? Looks a little better now, just with the better color. Wait, what are we looking at now? UNSC trim. Concentrate? Or, oh, just concrete. Okay. I mean, it does look really nice, and it does look like something that would like maybe open like part of an elevator kind of thing. So that might be what we're going for. Might be what we need. And then what else do we have? Forerunner metal. Let's bring this down to UNSC, or maybe metal brushed. I really like metal brushed. Feels very... I usually use it for, what just happened? Oh, I see. That's not actually the concrete one. Okay, I understand what happened. So we're gonna go down to UNSC, aluminum, heavy, and then what we'll do is, this is, yeah, that's actually trim concrete. So let's go to trim edges. That's not bad. It's a little bit too simple for making it look like a... That's aluminum vending machine, and it definitely should not look like it's doing that bug. But it's doing the bug even whenever I do the thing that usually gets around the bug. Why is it doing this? Oh, I'm even on the wrong one. I'm going to the wrong one. Hold on. That's why it's doing that. Let's reset this to aluminum heavy. And then go to trim edges. Ooh, that one looks pretty nice. That one could easily be like, yeah, like tracks for a doorway to close on. Okay, so here we go. Let's try this. Let's try this and bringing down the I can't believe I forgot these existed. I mean, I haven't ever gotten to actually use them really. I like started to use them on multiple occasions, but they're never exactly right because of how bumpy they are on the outside. But in this case, I think it's going to work. Because that is pretty decent. We're going to see if I've gotten it weld point. It has no weld points. Okay, so I'm just going to have to eyeball it. If I take this one's X and Y coordinates and put them over there, let's see, that's not position. Okay, I'll grab the Y and 31.78 for the X. Yeah, I think I just selected it again. Yeah, I did. Ooh. Nope, that's not it either. There we go. Let's see. 38.71. Let's hope that doesn't throw it off completely. Wow, that kind of does. Okay, well, we'll just manually adjust it in a second once it's as close to correct as we can get it. Nope. Nope. It's just completely reads a different location. I'm not sure what it was reading or why, but this one doesn't match up to that one's object coordinates at all. Let's do this. Okay. Put this over here. Center it right there. Might actually need to scale down a little more. But actually we could finally scale it back up again, because this door was a little bit wider, you know, it was like, it was as wide as that. And it got thinner whenever we had to do this for the, for it to fit. So in theory now, I could, no, what did you just delete? What is it selecting back there? Oh, it's doing the annoying bug where I have to aim this aimer at an object and then press the click button on the mouse before, and it doesn't matter what I'm pointing at, because right now it's pointing at that one, so it will select that one. You see what I mean? It's weird. Okay, so which is, let's see, let me guess, the magnets on this object aren't helping at all. Exactly. Yes, indeed. We are currently having to eyeball our magnets once again. I mean our location once again. Okay, so we can make the door actually pretty good here. Now, let's center it. The door before was centered, so let's center this one with the lines on here. Use those lines to sort of eyeball our center, and like where it's clipping into that corner there, and then where it's getting close to that, I think that means it needs to go a little bit to the left to be about there. It's clipping that corner, and yeah, everything appears to be correct. Good. Good, good, good. Now we can probably open these up more now that we've got this this new ring, and that'll be cool. Is there a center magnet on this object? No, there's no magnet on these apparently, which is really lame. I was like really hoping there would be. Now going down too far may still be a problem, so I might need to bring it up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring it up, which means I can't make it any wider than it already is. I wish this transitioned a little more smoothly. Like I could just like press a button and it would just like manually switch between mouse and keyboard instead of having to do the automatic switch, because this is, there we go, because this is like relying on the automatic switch is just not it's not fun. Okay, look, I actually do have to go further. Look at this. I had to go a little further over to line up the, because what I was lining up before was the concrete part, and the concrete part is an imperfect circle, whereas this is the perfect circle. There we go. And then I need to scale it. So yeah, let's see. Scale it this way to make it a little wider. And I might need to move the whole thing back because this one has more of a brim on it than the old door. I kind of like this brim being on the inside. It's going to poke out a little farther. But also, I need to get rid of that off-color. Instead of it being like a nice concrete raw shade, it's sitting here being like this weird. There we go. That's how you clear that, by the way. I know I've shown that off and done it a million times, so, but in case anyone watching has not seen that, that's how easy it is. Figured that out all the way back in Waterworks near the very beginning. But yeah, don't know, that's lame. I've noticed some weird magnet placements on objects, and also the ones that don't have magnets at all. I wish the terrain flat pieces had magnets. They're basically grass blocks. Yeah, I agree. There are a couple of terrain pieces I wish had you know, magnets in general. Just like there are a couple of places where like it would be cool to be able to just magnet something to the peak of the terrain rough, for example. You know, and if it scales up, you'd be able to have that magnet scale with it. There are a couple of things like that where like, yeah, why not have I know that terrains are like, let's make this feel more natural. Sure, but that doesn't mean that, I mean the user can just click off can just turn off the terrain, I mean the magnets whenever using the terrain. Forcing us to treat them like more natural environments doesn't actually help us. It just sort of makes it to where we can't choose to snap things to there anyway, you know what I mean? Or at least one in the middle, you know what I mean? Like you were saying about this ring, is there at least one in the middle of the object? It's like, no. Like every object should at least have one snap point in the very center of it. And everything else, you know, should, and then maybe additional locations around it, like at every point, every major point. But yeah, I know, it's weird. So this is a piece of ring, right? And I placed it there to make that sort of line and to fill in a hole that was there with the old one, but I don't need it for the same purpose anymore. So I am thinking about what would happen if I scaled this up. If I can get it to a certain size where like, no, it's not going to poke through nicely. Like this line here is pretty cool, especially the way it was before where the ring was this dark black, you know, like that. But now that it's not, I think I need to change the black to, I'm going to switch it, I'm going to invert it, I'm going to change the black to concrete raw, you know? And let's see, concrete raw. And then I'm going to get rid of its coloring. for now, and then I'm going to go to this trim and make it the black piece, the black part, so that that'll be sort of that kind of ring. I think any object that has cameras needs magnets on each point and also a center magnet, and circular objects need the same treatment but more of a cross on how the magnets would be and any center magnet. Yeah, ring objects should also be just like circular objects. Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're right. Let's see. I don't think we want a flat top. I think I made this too big. Now that I'm seeing it, like, lined up down here properly on the floor, I'm seeing that it's poking up too high, and we wanted it to be like a round bulkhead door. So I think I'm going to actually bring it down to there, so we can see the ring, the inner ring part of that, and it'll look like part of a proper door. And it looks like I might have to move it this way because that bumpiness is not what I'm going for. And that means I need to move the doors in because this is... Or I can move the whole ring down, maybe. Which one should I do? Because if I rely on the ring being moved down, it might poke through over there. Let's duplicate this, move it over, and see how this is looking. And then we'll decide on our ring structure based on how it affects this one. Oh, no, yeah, this is well within the concrete. Okay, this is definitely going to work. Works way better than that one. Okay, yeah. Let's see. I like 99%... I'm like 99% sure that's how it worked in Halo 5. Yeah. That it, like, auto-generated sort of the magnet points on, like, certain... Like that kind of thing, like... I would love to compare the things you could do in Halo 5 that you can't in Infinite, so we could get some of those things back. Yeah, I mean, there are some things that I've seen in, like, man, if I could, I'm not gonna pull up Blender right now, but if I could show you a tool in Blender, there's this one tool where, like, you literally make a donut, and one of the values you can change is how thick the donut is, right? So you can make it a big, thin ring, or you can make it a big, chunky donut that doesn't even have a hole in the middle, or whatever you want to do. And if we had that for our ring pieces, like if we had a slider that just changed the distance between here and there, and it just made it thicker, you know, or thinner, that would make the ring pieces the most useful round pieces in the game, in any game ever, and would actually pass up I think there was a ring doorway in Halo 5 that specifically had a flat bottom and then a ring going around it, or something to that effect. I want to say that's a thing, but since I skipped Halo 5, I don't actually know for sure. But yeah. I think this inner part needs to be black, because it's so weird. But I think it's also just not taking a color. Oh, right, it's not this. It's the trim. What am I doing? I actually don't know what this is. Oh, is it those lines? Yeah, it's those dotted lines. So if I put this to emissive, what would it do? Because that would be cool. If I could put those tiny little dotted lines as like forerunner emissive. Whoops, I passed it up by a lot. Oh, weird. No, it's like a brim, a perimeter. I wonder if they were going to make one that was not covered in rock, but they didn't finish the texture underneath yet, so they just abandoned it or something. Or maybe they just wanted you to be able to make a glow there. Bro, I swear, it's like the rings need a 4th scale slider to make them thinner or thicker, because my caster doorways are 19 different pieces, and some with my windows, same with my windows and stuff because of the rings. Yeah. Yeah. That they do. They need a special slider for that. And it could be literally a slider or it could be a value. Actually, why don't they use any sliders anywhere? I guess their values are basically just sliders, because you can go right on them and just make it tick up or tick down. You know, yeah. They're too thick when you scale them to the size you need. Yeah, exactly. And it's really frustrating. I'm just going to go to metal brushed and leave it at that. But this one I need to make, it says trim edge. I'm just going to go to UNSC trim. No, that's not what I want. Wait. Actually, that looks fine for this. It kind of looks cool. But what I need to do is make it dark to match the rest of the dark metal in this area. Oh, is that some kind of weird... Is it some... No, that's not dirt. Why is it all modeled like that? Is that just the trim? Texture? Is there a version of the trim that doesn't have that weird pixelation on it? Trim aluminum. Okay, cool. And it needs to be moved down. Yeah. Which means I actually need to scale it up just a tad and then move it down. To make it exactly where I want it at the top. See, number of letters you can use in a comment, I mean. See, oh wait, no, okay. I wish there wasn't a limit in the comments on this. Well, yeah. Wait, in chat? Are you saying in chat there's a limit? Is that why you keep on having to send like a second message afterward with a little bit more info? I didn't know that that's a limit. Is that something I can change on my end? Do you know? Because if that's something I can just change, I'll do that. Okay. Alright, so now we need to put some concrete blocks in there so that you can't see all this. Specifically, we can grab this angled block. Because if it is something I can just change, I'll just upgrade the stream by changing that out away from there, from what it's at right now, and we'll have a much better situation. Okay, I can snap with this, but it's bouncing me around, so I'm messing up. Okay, where am I gonna snap to? I guess I'll do that for now, and then I'll bring it out. Okay, so I can come all the way out to there, probably, and then I need to make it thin. This is where a sliding ring would be able to make a nice, clean concrete area. Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, actually, that's a better spot anyway. Let's make it a little bit smaller then. Whoop. I thought that was the slow growth. Okay, here we go, or the fast one. I meant to say. Okay, turn off magnets. Let's drag this back. Put it inside the wall. I found a better object. I don't know, that somebody just joined in, and if it happens to be Ripshade. Let's see, I'm not gonna lie, if I were in your shoes, I would make the rounded doorways myself out of primitive blocks so I would have magnets to use. That's just me though. Also, there's like a 250 letter limit. Gotcha, maybe less. Yeah, maybe. Does it look super weird this way? You know, it might work actually. I just thought of something. This might work. It'd be really cool looking actually. And be super unique because I doubt anyone else has done this. Where is it though? I think it's in T. I think. It's a space thing. Thermal padding. Let's see if this stretches badly, because it already appears to be doing so. Thermal padding does not look bad. Doesn't look right though. I was hoping that it would look like, you know what I mean, like where in a spaceship, because it's like a door lock, right? Then maybe there's like an umbilical cord that can extend out of it, sort of, so to speak. I think that would work if like I were to actually make an umbilical cord with like glass or something connecting them together, and make it all like look like the glass is sort of cloth, because I have so many glass panels involved to make it look like it's nice and like wrinkly or something, or like plastic or something, so that you could run through there and just be like, you know what I mean, and then get through to the other side. That'd be pretty crazy. Let's see, I also found that if you use a floor piece as a regular block, the first texture you put on it goes over the whole piece, so you don't have to worry about a region not having the same texture. Huh. Yeah, so I don't know about this thing. So you're saying just build a door out of all sorts of... Let's see, actually. That's not bad. Personally. Let's do the concrete first, and then we'll figure out what we actually need, because until this concrete is actually in place, it's going to be really hard to see what we're actually doing here. It's going to constantly threaten to not look good with every single option we take. Oh, okay, I see. I'm not actually lined up the top one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to snap this down here, and then I'm going to grab... No, this is not on the cardinal directions. I can't do that. I think it'd be better to snap it up there and then move it by hand down to position so that the wall is flat. Oh, come on now. Jeez. Gotta love this. There we go. Alright, now let's get this down here, put it onto the ground, and then we can scale it a bit. Let's see. Oof, way slow now. Okay, there we go. And then, like I could just put a concrete block there, but I'm thinking about putting a strut there. Some kind of support object. Or something to that effect. Not that. It would be too... This would be too much because it would have... Well, no, actually. I'm using these a lot so they'll become a good, like, visual language, you know? If I went ahead and did this, right? And then I... Let's see. Snapped it to... there like that, and get it to go... Well, it doesn't have to go all the way through, actually. There's going to be a big old column on the other side. And then I widen it. Ooh, wrong direction. Then I could extend it downward. Make it sort of hook back into the wall a bit that way. And put another one on this side. Well, actually, let me just put mirror the entire thing in a second. And actually, I think the best way to mirror it... No, I was gonna... And actually, that connects it into this black piece. Which is really cool, because that is the support up there. So it'll feel like this is supporting that, and that's supporting this, and all, you know, everything. So that's pretty good. Now, the main thing I need is a good magnet point over here. Did I use... I'm gonna use... Whoop, don't deactivate that. I'm trying to use this piece as the magnet, but it's using that concrete up there, so I think I need to... There it is. There we go. Boom. And then I need to widen it. That is not as good. I like this one more, where it's not in the concrete. Okay, yeah, so anyway, let's figure this out. Let's go this over here and put this in the same spot over there. And actually, that's going to have to move in a bit because this one's actually inward. Let's just go over here, magnet it to there, like it isn't over there, and then slowly, and then eyeball it into the correct spot, because I believe... Oop, why is it moving so fast? Not holding down shift. Yeah, I believe it's... No, it needs to move back a bit, but yeah. It needs to go back just a tad, so we can just see a little bit of that flat part. Even though, maybe realistically, we shouldn't be able to see any of the flat part if they are actually supporting one another. And then, I also found that if you use the floor pieces, right, yeah, I just want to make sure I read that one. The floor pieces are what I'm making my castle out of, because regular primitive blocks are missing textures on certain regions, and I'm going to be using the stonework texture for most of the castle. Oh, nice. I don't like them because they scale in two directions, so it's really hard to line them up properly. Like, every single direction they scale in both directions, which can be really useful sometimes, so I'm glad that they are in the game. but like the use is like super limited for when it's actually useful. Like wait, which one? This one? Like this is one. And like just doing this, that is annoying for most cases. As you've probably seen me complain about before. What's up, Will? Just popping in for a few at work. Very cool. So I found an even smaller... this is what's up. I found a smaller ring. The only downside is this ring is all bumpy. So I had it set to concrete. Right now it's actually set to a cloth texture that looks like it's maybe some kind of like spaceship style, you know, reinforced cloth for its like to cover parts up, but it's not necessarily that, you know what I mean? I'm not really sure, but we can figure that out. Now this piece scales in one direction on all sides. That's another thing I was going to say. Yeah. So but I want to center this a little more because I just put this column in and I'm realizing that the door is not centered anymore. But yeah. But I did have it set to concrete. If you want to see the concrete, that would be cool. Yeah, I don't mind that, to be honest. It's insulated. Yeah, exactly. Let me show you what the bumpy concrete, because concrete also can be very bumpy and messed up. If you go to concrete and you go to here, it looks like, oh right, it's one of those. It's one of those where we got to go 0 like that to texture to zero it out. Ugh, getting a phone call or something. Anyway, okay, so. This is it as bumpy concrete, which also doesn't look terrible. And it's got this cool, like, extra lip on the inside and stuff. So, that's kind of cool. I'm putting these, like, door frame pieces around it, because I needed something to cover up the crack on the side anyway, which I think I need to bring it back over. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, because lining this up with up there is a little tougher than I thought it was going to be. And I might move all of that over to line up with down here. With just a bit, you know? Because it's not even touching anyway. It was part of your block out that was a little more rough, so I'm going to have to fill this in one way or the other. And it's kind of poking out a little farther than it needs to, so it's probably why it's not lining up perfectly down here. But anyway. Maybe I have to move this over. Yeah, this thing could poke out here. Anyway, I'm just saying. I'm just rambling. Okay, we gotta get these pieces here. Duplicated. No. I want it to be lined up. Okay, people are saying stuff. Let's, duplicate. No! What are you doing? I'm clearly over here, lined up with your position. Go with the thing. Why is it doing this? Okay, well, I'll just snap it into it. Whatever. Would have been faster just to do that anyway. Oh, I see what's happening. There we go. Now it should work. No? Oh, come on, what's it doing? What are you doing? Okay, there's a bunch of people saying stuff. I think it's called Floor Piece B. I've been using it to measure out the distances between things like doorways and stuff because it scales one way and stays in place. Nice. Yeah, some spots are definitely rough for sure. That's my bad. Because the scaling both ways is annoying. That's something the primitive blocks do. Yeah, it is really annoying. It's not too bad actually. I wouldn't say it's your bad. Okay, so it's so much farther into the wall than I thought that it just wasn't grabbing the correct magnet point. It's not a big deal. Like, the block out needs to be fast and, like, you know, iterative, so I can understand why, like you did one thing and then maybe deleted something and then did something else and then deleted that and then did something else, and in the process you end up basically undoing a lot of work that you were doing before, and by the time you're done, it's become you know, you'll have these gaps and stuff like that. Like this, you must have lined this block up with something, but it's not this other block, so you must have lined it up down here somewhere, or put this block in later, or something like that, and I can understand that would get to that point. Blockouts are more fast and loose. Oh, I haven't shown off on stream your cool windows yet. Ripshade actually arted some, and this is entirely Ripshade's design here. I was actually like, those boxes are really cool, and I'm not sure how you pulled that off. Is that something that just came with this with this support railing, because I love it. It's like holding the window in place. And you've got one over here too. And it's like it's holding the panels in place. It's really cool. And then this is like a reinforced window because it's got these bars in it. It's super cool. And then that was copied over there. He pulled that off. Very cool. Exactly. Yes. I'm not sure which it exactly was for, if it was for the glass or if it was for what we were talking about a second ago. I think it was for what we were talking about a second ago. But anyway, I think I'm just going to magnet this back to there and snap it there. And I'm going to snap this one to there, and I'm going to figure out how to make the concrete around it look good. Oh, my music shut off. Why did it do that? That was so abrupt. Let's see. Nope, they are those railing pieces, I think. Look at it, or antenna pieces. Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. What are they? They are... I'll just copy it out, but... Angled wire... What is it? Angled wire fence 2. Oh! Cool! Man, that's cool. You could use this to make a ladder, too. Like a really industrial, like, looking... It's got, like, hinges and everything. Like, this could be like a ladder that would fold out on a tank or something like that to let you climb up. You know what I mean? It's got more rungs than necessary in case one of them gets blown up. So you can still climb, you know? Something like that. It'd be really cool. It's a very Jurassic Park feeling, this whole piece. I always felt that way. That looks awful. That looks better. Look at that. There's your ladder. That's actually a great ladder that doesn't look like the ladders of, It doesn't look like the other generic ladder. You know, the one that looks like it from the city. That looks like it should extend. It looks like one that would hinge up into the ceiling. You could even theoretically script them to flip over, because if you put it just into the wall, it's just the hinge poking out. So you could, like, script them to just, like, flip upside down. You know what I mean? And then, like, yeah, in, like, a campaign mission, you could have units spawn from them. And, like, have it, like, flip over. Like, it wouldn't animate nicely, it wouldn't, like, turn or anything. It wouldn't, like, hinge down nicely, like, cleanly. But you could have it, like, there, and then just, like, you could just have it, like flip upside down like it fell down, like it came down. And then have units spawn up there and drop down, you know, onto the ground or whatever. Anyway, if they're those railing pieces or antenna pieces, it's a very cool piece. It is. It really is. I didn't notice that. I didn't know how cool it was before. Now you've shown me the light there. Let's see on how cool that is. Let's see. Let's see if I can drag this over. I used them on my big map, but just as railing. I didn't do anything clever with them. Yeah, this is just too big now to fit inside of there. Oh, this was a mistake. Hold on. I need to center these pieces too, because they're centered to one another. Now I might do that bug again, so let me do this to make sure it selects it. No. I deselected everything else. Okay, so I've got that one. Yeah, nope, it's not doing the bug anymore. Oh. What am I selecting right now? Oh, God. Okay, it is doing the bug. Hopefully, I have too many objects selected. It definitely selected something back there whenever I did that. Okay. Okay, so we need the 1. We need the 2. 3. In case anyone's wondering what this bug is, it's something that happened like 5 minutes ago. And basically, it's like 10 minutes ago. You have to hold down the shift button. Whenever you're selecting things, you have to aim this aimer at something, and then click it. Even if you're using mouse and keyboard, because this bug happens sometimes. Oop. Now that doesn't even make any sense. In no way should that have selected that piece. Okay. Now we can move it over, and it'll drag those cool little round pieces over, so they'll be as close to center as we can, and then we'll drag them in a little further, or snap them into position on something. But this is gonna have to be mostly eyeballed. which is fine. Let's see, I'm using those railing pieces on top of some jersey barriers on this map I'm making. That's of a street in my neighborhood. It's like a underpass with a 4-lane road, 2 sidewalks and a railroad over the road. Nice. Certain pieces make it look like it is a real life sort of. It's a pretty cool piece. Yeah, it really is. I think you probably, Ripshade, meant to do the same over here as you did over there. So I'm going to go ahead and snap one of these into position and see if that was what you're doing. Oh, it's because there's no concrete to sink it into. I see what you did. I see why you didn't do it there. Were you planning on putting concrete over here? Because I think we could probably just put a concrete block right here and make it, or were you planning on having the glass turn with it? My controller has drift, so it's very annoying trying to use my mouse. Yeah. Oh, wow, so whenever you switch to mouse, it'll drift and take control of your thing again. I see what you mean. Yeah. That's awful. That's like really awful. Let's see. But I was just wondering if we could put like a, if you want me to put back the column of block, the block of a piece there, and like sort of like make it triangle so that it doesn't like clip into this, and just make it kind of go down. I was thinking it should probably be there because I like it. I like the way that was there, and then that would let you like see through over here, but not necessarily see through over here. Maybe it would be better to have an opening there. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. By the way, after you asked me yesterday what I was going to do yesterday, and I couldn't answer because I was like, whatever ends up grabbing my fancy at the time, because I got to go off like the drive. I'm just trying to do the jersey barrier thing right now because I wanted to see what you were talking about. I wanted to make it really quick, but anyway, I know this is very like ADHD of me to be like, oh, I want to see that. Where is that again? Barriers or cover? I think it's in cover. Yeah, there we go. This is very like silly, but I'm gonna bring this in and snap that to there, except you probably have it like properly scaled. Well, that's the wrong direction, but something like this ish. Not probably exactly like this. This is just resting on top. I'm sure there's a much better place to snap this to there, like that kind of thing, for example. And then you could, I think you want to snap it in over here and then scale it this way. And you've got like these boxes on the sides, like they're latching onto it. Something like this, because that's really cool. Anyway, I wasn't sure what to do there. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking just a concrete block there would be pretty cool, like a continuation of this. It would make this look like it was a support, you know, and was just like going into the ground right here as like a column inside the concrete. Like there's a metal support beam that they poured concrete around, you know? But yeah, I feel like those railing pieces could be good for a cyberpunk type of theme as well. Almost like barbed wire fences, but you could throw electricity FX on it. I have no clue what to use them in this map, I suppose. Sorry, this map is supposed to be though. I have no clue what the theme of this map is supposed to be though. That's exactly what I did on my map. Nice. Yeah, so this is basically, it's going to be Unison and Oni. So, I mean, maybe it's uninspired to do Halo-themed stuff. I know a lot of people feel that way. I really like Halo-themed stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know what's, like, I don't... This is going to be a lot of it could be considered blasphemy in today's, you know, sci-fi sphere. But I am not actually that big of a fan of cyberpunk. It's okay, but all the neon just tends to blow out, in my opinion. There's some times whenever it's really cool. Most of the time, though, they just like blow out all the neon, and it makes a very messy visual, in my opinion. It's like really, really busy. So, but doing it in a cool way can really pay off. So it's a little bit of a give and take, I guess. So I do enjoy it sometimes. A lot of the maps, a lot of the Halo maps, I've actually enjoyed. I'll say that. Like a lot of the Cyberpunk Halo maps have been really interesting. They're not as I just really like it whenever people come up with really clever ways of making it look like it's UNSC and like, you know, just Mombasa streets or something to that effect. Because that was why I liked Halo's aesthetic in the first place, is because I prefer the more grounded, hard sci-fi effect that would actually be seen in real life, you know what I mean? I have no clue what... let's see, that's exactly what I did on my map. Okay, I thought I saw a change up there, like someone had posted something. Why is this not switching? I hate this. This part is like the worst. It's not the worst bug. There are far worse bugs, but it's very frustrating. These were literally just hiding blemishes before, but I like them so much that I'm actually gonna just keep them because I like them. And I had to eyeball them the first time, so they're not actually perfect anyway, so I'm just gonna eyeball them back into position. Where it's about the distance there, and then the distance there, and then this one somehow I must have grabbed it on 2 axes by accident, which kind of sucks. So now I need to adjust it again. Let's see. I'm right there with you with arting using Halo stuff. Yeah. Like I really like the aesthetics of Halo. That's why I play Halo. You know what I mean? So I'm not playing Blade Runner. But yeah. But I'm not like, I don't really hate them or anything. I'm not super into it. So I'm noticing that I was looking at one side of the door the entire time and not viewing what it looked like on the other side. So while it looks great now on this side, it needs to look great on both sides. Yeah, the cyberpunk thing can be a little overwhelming. I feel like less is more. I was just saying in general though, I feel like you can sort of pull anything off in Halo's Forge. Though I don't like to. Yeah, I said 2 things. I don't know if it popped up. Oh, you said, I'm right here with you with arting using Halo stuff. Limit my creativity to just a Halo theme. I don't know if the other thing popped up, because the last thing before that was, I wasn't sure what to do there. My controller was drift, so yeah. So I don't think the other one popped up somehow. Limit my creativity to just a Halo theme. Let's see. Though I don't like to limit my creativity to just a Halo theme. Yeah, I agree. That's why I like things like soccer trees and stuff like that. Well, it's not just the Halo theme. It's that Halo has a grounded theme where like everything sort of makes sense. Like, for example, honestly, this isn't even a Halo theme. Like, they don't have cranes in like any campaign maps I can think of, except for maybe, I don't know. They have cranes in the background in Bazaar, and that's like it that I can think of. You know what I mean? Like, even just having the crane at all is like, well, we built it using some sci-fi means, and then now it's like, no, they actually did use regular cranes to build it. You know what I mean? So they kind of are going into that too, but I don't know. Headlong. Oh, Headlong did have them, yeah. There was one really big one that was holding up the thing. I almost thought of that one, like I felt like there was something that was one of the older maps, and then, like one of the classic maps, and then I just like, it just like left my brain as I was thinking about it, and then I was like, I was about to say something, but I was like, I lost it. Anyway, let's see, that gray piece to the right is angled. You can mess with it. Oh, this one here? Yeah, it's really cool. I'm considering, okay, you see how I did this? Basically, I wanted this, right, this cross beam that I had over there to sort of create like a visual reminder of how this is working. And this one, they're going to be angled down into it, but like, you know, like one's going to be angled down and then the next going to be angled up, and it'll be doing the same thing over here, right? And so, but to do that, I had to make it thick enough that this would poke through, which is thinner than that part, as you can see. One second. Excuse me. Okay. So I had to make, because that's so much thinner than that part, I had to thicken up the entire piece compared to this one where it was much thinner in general. But anyway, because this wall was thicker, and that required me to make it a little bit thicker down here because it just didn't look right the way it was so thin. So I made this like slope thing, and that's just a little, that was just to solve that visual problem, but it actually looks really cool. And what I might do is something similar over here, where I can, for example, solve the same problem over here by putting a slope like this that will make the wall get thicker as it goes this direction. You see what I mean? So I could bring it up here and to visually match it, and I can make it to just to keep the room basically the same, so I don't widen the room. You know what I mean? Because if I bring the whole thing out, the whole wall out, then it'll widen the whole room. But if I put a slope here, I can make the frame look like it's supposed to be there, while also I think this is going to do the top. Yeah, it is. I'm going to have to flip it over to go all the way down to the floor, and then go all the way down, and then yeah. And this will also make a very slight spot where you could like hide from around corners. So it'll be a very kind of subtle new hiding spot. But yeah, gotta run, but I'll watch when I get home. Sounds good. Keep up the amazing work. Cool, cool, cool. Headlong has a crane. Yes, you are correct. But I just mean like in general though, like there's a lot of stuff that like they've also changed the visual style a lot, but I don't know. Oh, jeez. It went the wrong way. I was expecting it to go the right way. There we go. Alright, so this needs to go... But yeah, I just like grounded practicality of it. You know what I mean? That was one of the reasons I always liked Halo. Why did that happen? I did not... I pressed the A button, but it didn't do anything. I was supposed to switch into the scaling mode. There we go. Do that. There we go. I think this should be enough, but I'll check it out in a second to see if it's thick enough. Snap that down there. Ah! It's a different piece. I'm going to delete it. And select this one. And then get underneath it. Actually, do I even need it? Ah, the bottom piece isn't doing anything anymore. It was probably doing something whenever... Oh, here it is. This is the piece. This is where it goes. Yeah, there we go. And it looks like there's another piece missing from there. That would have been the rest of the column. There we go. For the doorway. Anyway. Let's see how that looks over here. Yep, that cleaned it up pretty nicely. Actually, perfect angle to clean it up. And then I'll put like I need to put a strip of concrete there and a strip of concrete there. But yeah. Okay, let's see. I need a piece that is this thick, I think. So that it's the exact thickness. No, wait, this thick. So it's the same thickness as the rest of the wall, and so it will scale really easily. There. Ooh, come on now. Get off of object movement. I can just snap that there. And bring it in, and I'm going to get rid of the scratches on these angled pieces. Oh, not that one. Because that's what's causing this to pop like this. Is that the concrete is really good at not having that kind of Z-fighting. But if you have scratches on it, it does in fact have Z-fighting. Well, it's still doing it right now. Usually it's really good about it. Might have to make it like slightly thicker. That's not what I want to do. Okay, I think I wanted to not do what I just did. There we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of Z-fighting there, but yeah, let's see. Keep up the amazing work. Let's see. I feel you is my favorite game, so the feelings are mutual. I do like to step outside the realm of Halo and play with my own ideas. In Halo 5, I was trying to make it Forerunner/thing Healy themed. That's a really cool idea. Okay, I need to make these angles not so large. Actually. And actually, you know what? I may not even need this the middle piece. I just realized I could just stretch them up like this. That may not actually solve the need for the middle piece, but anyway, they don't all need to be identical, I just realized, because they just need to hide the thing in the middle. Like, I don't need them to be identical on all sides. Nope, not what I meant to do. There we go. Copy that. Bring it over here. I just realized also, are these triangles locked in place like they're supposed to be? Why is this not finding its weld point there? Okay, that's fine. Let's make sure they're not... they poke out way too far. I did not need it to be that thick, apparently. I'm being dumb. Let's bring this back in. Doesn't even need to poke out at all because this column on this side is blocking the problem. So all it needs to be is on this side. And then we need to get these angles out of the way. What is happening? I swear, I try to press the A button to do stuff, and then the A button just doesn't work. Sometimes. Okay, now I need one at the top. Here we go. Now this one will have to be a very specific thickness. Because, obviously, for obvious reasons, it will have to be the very specific thickness. Yeah, please latch to something that actually gets me lined up. Thank you. Oof. Yeah, I need to do something about this. That needs to be there. That works. This one needs to be taller. They really don't have to be perfect in this spot. Like, I normally line my concrete, like my blocks up to where they're like perfect on the edges and stuff like that, but this time they really don't need to be. Although I think I need 2 blocks, one on each side, because this needs to be thicker, but I need to... It's demanding to be thicker, but it doesn't want to be too thick. Okay. This is being annoying. Because now I need to bring this in more, and then I think I'm going to start being visible from, yeah, inside there. Okay. So I just got to fiddle with this until it's fixed. But yeah. So I think that the Halo theme, the groundedness, what I was going to say was, I was going to say something a minute ago. And then I started getting, like, really into the weeds on moving these pieces around. And doing it in a very bad way, apparently. Like, I could theoretically just bring this... No, I don't think I can bring that lower, because that would bring the roof down. Yeah, no, that's not what I want. I just need to do something that makes sense and doesn't waste resources. Like, 1 block across the top should be enough down to a certain thickness, and then the angles should be able to work out. And then the side pieces, like, if I bring this up, then I can bring that out, so that should work. That's what I'm going to do. It's almost like hard sci-fi is what I was going to say. It's like, Halo is not exactly hard sci-fi, but their visual design is more hard sci-fi. And I like that. Let's see, I seriously botched the spelling of that, lol. Sangheili. Yeah, but I got it. At least I understood what you meant. I didn't even notice that you botched it. There you go. I have that, that word... added to my added to all of my spell checks on like every single program because of the fact that I've written it into like every single program at some point. Ugh, that's not working either. Ugh, that's annoying. That's very frustrating. Trying not to use too many pieces, but I think I'm just gonna have to use another piece. Yep. Unless... No, I can't change the thickness anymore. Yeah, okay. So what I could do is very easily just place one of these here. At this point I've almost made a round doorway like you were talking about, just using the blocks. But, you know, just snap that there. So maybe I could just do that. I mean, it's not really... Oh, I'm going that direction. Oh, okay. Because it's the inverted method. Okay. There we go. Okay. So that looks... Ah! Missed my platform. That looks great. Okay. I just gotta do the same thing over here. Actually, is it fine over here? No, there's still that little tiny hole. Okay. Actually, that being said, no, it still has that tiny little hole. This side might be a little easier. Because all I gotta do is that to get rid of this. Let's see. That little tiny hole is so small on this side. that I could do that, and then maybe it won't poke through on this side. Okay, yeah. This side worked, the other side just didn't, and I need to clean up the blocks that are poking through like this one. And if the other one down here is visible, which it might be, no, it's not visible. It's actually the problem. So it's too thin on that one. There we go. And then that block needs to be thicker. I must have rotated the wrong direction at some point. Or something to that effect. There we go. Okay. So now we have that. Now, these arches are going to be now look great as being incorporated into that column. So let's see. Okay. So those two pieces on the side of the road doorway supposed to make it look like it's open, like it opens and closes, because if so, it looks good to me. Yeah, these pieces here. Yeah, these are the doorway, like the door seal. And then the round doorway, I think is what you were saying. And I read it as road doorway. Let's see. It would be cool to make it open and close when you walk up to it and walk away from it. Round doorway is not road. Yeah, yeah. That would be pretty cool. It would close sight lines, and I don't know if that's one of the things that Ripshade had in mind, but it would be really cool. Like if it had a proximity. They're scaled though. Yeah, never mind. I think these doorways are scaled. And they have to be scaled or else they poke through the column over here. And so like I've basically flattened them a bit this direction. So yeah. Are they still centered? Okay, good, they are, yeah. Just want to make sure that in all of that I didn't lose their centered point positioning, you know. They probably could move down because there's a lot more yellow there than there is there. But anyway. But yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say. I do think that this needs to move a little bit more into the wall, or else I need to mess with this column down, this wall down here, which would change the block out. I'm trying to preserve Ripshade's block out as closely as I can, and only fix the fix whenever he left something as a. I need to tweak this a bit that way, just a tiny bit, just enough to work. I probably should have moved the doorways too, because they were centered. Now they're not centered. Okay, let's do that. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Damn true. I keep forgetting scale objects can't be dynamic. Yeah, I know. I wish they would change that. It would be it would go such a long way. It would be cool if you could do like an ultra scaled object. I think one of the problems is, okay, this one's not the same as this one. They were. I originally had them snapped together, but I must have somehow accidentally grabbed them and moved them at some point. That explains why they were not centered correctly. So like, the main reason they do that is because it's, in their rendering, engine, it has to decide when to render dynamic objects versus non-dynamic objects, and dynamic objects it has to render differently because like lighting has to be more dynamic on it, right? So like if they just, okay, did you see that bug? I had to angle the little arrow, or the little pointer. If they just made it to where they could move, then they would also lose the ability to render them dynamically. And so I believe that why they're doing it is that, yeah, is all of that. But it would be cool if they made a third type of object, like a dynamically scaled object, that would take up way more budget, because they'd have to be able to render... Gosh, that's so weird. There's like a... There's so much more object up here that just isn't connected to the rest of the object. Like it's collision box or something. I hope that's not collision box, so that means like if someone went to shoot over that, it would hit it. It's like if someone used this as a barricade for whatever reason. Let's see if this actually hits it. No, it's going through. Okay, cool. So it's not the collision box, it's just the bounding box, the selection box. That's good. Anyway, what I was saying whenever I interrupted myself, let's see. Like on your Waterworks remake, you would have been able to keep your pump shroud the way it was originally. Yeah, exactly. I could have scaled things, made it even cooler, and that would have been awesome. But yeah. Okay, here's an idea. What if instead of this, so I've got these down here, right? And I'm making this sort of like, I made this sort of like support beam sort of line up here that I thought looked kind of cool. I thought that looked nifty, and I'm thinking about if I scaled this up, if I like snapped this to that part of the column, right? And then I scaled it up until it touched the other side of the column. Maybe I'll do it on the back end. There we go. It's unfortunately scaling in both directions because it's one of the, in that one folder. Everything in that one folder, the primitives folder, does this. So what I was thinking was, the flood, is something like that, or this maybe, is changing how these work to be a support curve like that. Rather than going into the ring, they kind of curve away from it. Or rather than, gosh dang it, I keep on falling into the wall. I might put a floor piece here just while I'm working on this thing, because I keep falling down there. Instead of curving like around this like they were originally, which was kind of just like framing it, which was kind of cool, I could do one of these on each side and make it frame as part of the, what do you call it, the column. Whoop. Nope. Ugh, get off of object movement, it's making it all wonky. That's not working either. Okay. Let's try to snap to the actual, I don't know, we'll just put it there for now. And then move it up to line it up as closely as we can. Just before I make it perfect, I'll just do this to visualize it. So in that case, we would have this and this would be deleted, and it would have sort of that look. If it was big enough to see the other thing over here, now we're running into that wall again. I don't know. I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't move the entire door out a bit, and this over to be lined up with this piece. Like if that black piece went here, then I'd have like a little more room over here. I don't know. But yeah, if we could change that, it would go a long way. It would go a long way, very much so. And I think that it would. I'm gonna undo those. That's why I did them both at the same time, so I could just hit undo. If we could scale dynamic, basically, if they did like a super dynamic object, it would cost probably twice as much stuff in your memory, on your map. It would have twice as much budget consumption, I would think, as your for your dynamic objects. Compared to a normal dynamic object of the same kind. But it would, but if they, it probably, I would assume, like twice as much of your budget. But, I mean, some of us would just choose to make that sacrifice, you know what I mean? But that would require them to add an entire different kind of call object into the renderer. And that's what I'm assuming is the limitation, is the renderer. But it might not be. Actually, it looks really cool over here. Hold on. The way this is like... That looks really dope, actually. Maybe I should do this. This would need to be actually correct, instead of just mostly correct. I'm assuming there just isn't a snap point there, but this is close enough, and then I'll drag it over, I think. No, well, not exactly close enough. I'll snap it to here, and then drag it all the way over. If I'm going to have to drag it over, I might as well drag it all the way over from where I know for sure that it is correct. You know what I mean? But yeah, and so if they did do that, it would work. And that's just my assumption on how their engine works. Is that they do it? Is that the limitation is on the rendering section, or the part where you render the objects? I mean, what I could do to make this fit a little better. By the way, the scratches on that are atrocious. I need to bring that down to like 0.3, so they're not so like, not taking over the entire piece. If I did something involving this column going down here to actually make it consume that, you know, like just basically, I say consume like it's eating it, but anyway, basically like devour that part so where the curve does match, that would work. It would be changing the block out a little bit here, but only a little bit, like a little superficially. Like you can safely hop down there, so that is something that we would be losing if I did this. Actually, what if I did it the other way around? What if instead of like that, I did it like this on this side? You know? Let's see. Like if that was roughly there, and I made it go once again, I keep dropping myself there. So here it gets thicker as it goes away, but over here we'd be getting thinner as it goes away. Would allow you to still drop down behind cover, which would definitely do the trick. Obviously, it's not this tall, but yeah. Which would require me to thicken this beam up a bit. By just a little bit. Which would also alter how it is down here. Unless I do... Yeah, I'm going to do it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I did over here. Oh, over... Lost track of where I was. Over here. Lost track of where I was for like 2 seconds. This piece... I can just copy and bring it over here, actually. And essentially, what I did with this was, I brought this up to like a height where I wanted it to get thicker and just put it there. So if I wanted to make this thicker right around, I could try snapping it there. That is not showing me where it's going to snap. That's not bad. I kind of like that. But I need to make it line up there properly. Whoop. Let's see. Okay, turn off magnets. Where's my grabber? There it is. Okay. My manipulator. They actually have a name for that I always forget. Okay. So if I then proceed to thin this out, wrong direction. Jeez. There we go. It's so hard to tell which is going to be the right direction, which one's going to be the wrong direction. That is why I feel like they should just go ahead and, you know, just do away with all of the inverse scaling. I really hate it. Like, I'm sure they fully understand why it's inverse scaling in some places versus others. I'm sure that there's some kind of inner, you know, some documentation that they have where they know full well why this scales this way and this scales this way, and it makes perfect sense, but I don't like it. It always annoys me every single time that I have to deal with it. And then this would probably have to go all the way to the end to look perfect, but the other option is it goes only so far, and we make that, because if it's about, you know, proportional, like if it's proportionally correct, then that's what we want. And actually, we might want to drag it down here and snap it to there. Let's see if that looks any good down below. But yeah, so proportionally correct, and then it works good. Okay, let's drag all this back up to being level with this. I almost did this, or almost made it level, and then I didn't a second ago, and I'm going to do that there, so that it looks like a little dugout in the concrete between these 2 points. And it's just right for you to be able to drop down while still behind cover. which is, I believe, what an intended purpose of it. I've somehow lost being correctly lined up with the thing, but I can fix that. And then you just drop down. Cool. Okay. Let's see. This door is taking like the entire time. Round doors, right? Am I right? There we go. Okay, so there we go. And now we just drag it back out so that, like I said, proportionally it feels right. Looks good to me at that spot. That's just like a feel kind of thing. And then we can go up with it. Okay, music just stopped. I wonder if that little cutout will look good like this. Let's see. It's not bad. I think it looks cooler whenever you can actually see it. There, the music is back on. I think it looks cooler whenever you can actually see it. But yeah. And also scratches. Maybe dirt as well. Yeah, the dirt is the problem. The giant streak marks going all the way down it. Go to like 0.1. Is that good? We can have some dirt without having it like terrible. Try 0.2. Yeah, that's not bad. We'll do 0.2. Because having the dirt layer is important for the visuals to look right, but also, yeah. Okay, so this is where this is the visuals that we've been working on here. So that's the focus. Yeah, I'm liking it. And let's see what it looks like from up here. Yeah, that looks really cool to me. And then down here. Yeah. We've got a door. Finally. That took forever. Oh, man. Okay. Sorry, I got a little focused there. And, stopped talking about interesting things and just started mumbling what I was doing. But yeah. Oh, I do think that this can probably come down and we can just... I don't know what just happened. Why is it shifting? What is going on? I have no idea what just happened, but it didn't make any sense, and it won't undo. I hit the undo button and it did nothing. So I think I'm just going to copy this one. Did that? Yeah, I'm inside of it. Good. And I'm going to figure out what happened there, and I'm going to try to fix it. Actually, no, I've got to copy this one. And I can snap into position over here on that inner corner there. And then maybe it will scale correctly this time. There we go. Yeah, it didn't mess up that time. Now, I do need to basically fix that angle because, as was just seen, this is going to poke through. I mean, just picking the right colors and stuff like that would definitely do the trick, but we need to... And actually, I don't mind this being more tight. Let's see. Instead of a 45. We can switch it back to a 45-degree angle later, but for now I don't mind this being a little tighter of an angle so we can see what that looks like. Yeah, that would look cool. A thick line up top, thin line on the side. That looks nice. And I actually do like this line, so I think I'm going to leave this as the lighter concrete and put this... Well, I'm going to work out what I'm going to do involving this light concrete and that light concrete and all that kind of stuff. I kind of like how it's like a lighter strip, but I might do it instead of a lighter strip. I might make it a darker strip or something like that. I don't know yet. But, yeah. This needs to... Oh, I see. I see what's happening. That needs to be like that, and then this piece and this piece both need to snap to there, so it's actually lined up. There we go. Now it's all lined up, and I need to get rid of that orange one way or the other, because that orange is really throwing me off. Let's see. Concrete raw. We need to hit this at 0. That should have worked, but it didn't for some reason. Oh, it's still set to design grid. Gotcha. That'll do it. There we go. Now it's the right color. Much more subtle now. I'm liking it. What I might do is make this concrete and put like a tech wall here. There's a lot of this stuff that's like looks like bare concrete right now. It looks really boring. But I'm gonna add stuff like tech walls and things to stuff like that, and like electronics that you can bust and stuff. Like how this has got all this stuff, which that won't bust until I hold down the back button. But like those random things over there. We could be like, for example, if a grenade goes off here, it's just gonna blow everything off the walls, like that computer board, and then like that stuff there. Whole bunch of stuff will blow open and start sparking. This panel is going to be cool. I don't know what it's going to display like because I stretched it so much, and I know that in the actual match, I think these ones that glow bright like this actually put like a dynamic screen on them. And who knows if it's going to stretch poorly and be terrible and I'll have to delete it, but for now, it looks cool. Whoop, this is supposed to be... Whoa, did I change the height to this thing at some point? Yeah, no, there it goes. I don't know why I couldn't get up there. I was pretty sure I didn't change any height. So that doorway viewed from over here also looks really good. So that's important because that basically, that work is going to be copied to here, to there, to there, to there, and we're going to end up with a really cool setup. This part may not be down there, and I'm not sure if it's going to be up there or not, but yeah, the rest of it will be. So making the one doorway is a big deal. I might turn this doorway around, but I also, let me try going back to the idea of the, what cloth was it? It was by, I forget what it was called. I'd gone down to the thermal, and then it was right next to it. So we'll go to thermal padding. It was tarp borderless. Let's see, thermal padding. Let's turn off the shininess and see what that looks like with the thermal padding. Kind of just makes it look like rock. Let's go to the dark tarp borderless. Oh, come on now. Ah, jeez. Please do your thing. Please work properly. I'm begging you, Forge. Okay, now we're back to the tarp. It actually, with this, like, almost looks like scales. That isn't bad. The door frame being black one way or the other looks really nice, so I'm actually liking that a lot. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Or if not black, then just dark. Let's see what other colors look like. Let's try, I want to try Unicy Green. Let's try that. That's with it. Shiny. That looks pretty cool. And then you get up close and it's this like, you know, cloth texture. Let's apply some dirt layer to it because I think I've got it at 0. And I don't think we want grass. We're going to want, and it's really heavy on this, right, around the outside. So what I'm going to do is actually find something that is like, not leather, something cloth, linen. That might look good. Let's see if that works. Grind mount, we'll go all the way up to crank it up to 1. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so that's not what we want. Let's see. That's way too green, whatever that is. That would add like a nice camo, but yeah, no, I don't know about this. We might not do this. Man, that looks like rust. That is if you want to make a rusty version of this, go ahead, because that'll make it really easy. Leather rugged. That looks like a nice camo. If you ever want to make a camo-looking tarp ring of any kind, or just like, okay. This is completely an aside, completely unrelated to what I was doing, but it would help whoever's watching. So I'll go ahead, and it might help you if you want to make something like this. So you could, okay, right, so you could do this. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. So suppose, I might put this outside the map so that I can show you. It won't, the A button is just not working reliably today, and I don't understand why. Okay, so maybe it's my controller. I'm on object movement, and I need to get off that because it's locking me to weird directions. Okay. Alright, alright. What I'm trying to say is this. Suppose you want a Halo 2 style medical tent. Right? Well, you've got your canvas now. Look. And it's got like a camo pattern on it. And then what you do is you then add, like, you know, you can change this inner texture to something more appropriate, and you can add your sticks and, you know, framework or whatever on the inside of this with support objects. And you've got yourself a nice little, like, first aid medical tent. I see what's going on. I'm hitting the A button too fast. No, I'm used to it popping into that tool so fast, but for some reason there's some kind of weird lag going on. But anyway. And then you could maybe do some of the tarp objects, you know, the actual tarp objects, and hang them over the edge of this in such a way that they look like cloth doorways. I'm not sure where those are. I always forget. I think they're in city props. No, not in city props. I don't think they're in city props. I don't remember where they are. I'm always like, always happen across them as I'm moving through and just don't need them at the moment. But I keep trying to remember, like, mentally, you know, put a mental note of where they're located. But since I haven't used them enough, I just always forget where they are. But yeah, they're in here somewhere. If you put some like tarp on here, you could probably make it look like a good doorway dangling down. And that'd be pretty cool. But I don't know if the if it would work well with the curvature of the thing. But anyway, you remember in Halo 2, like in the the level Turf, right? In Turf they had those medical tents that you could hop on top of, and you could hop down into, and this would make a great structure for that. I mean, yeah, you could just do pretty much anything and put the panels to make it, but take up a lot of blocks. And that would and this has the best like dirt texture. Like it just goes on it. It just covers it. Anyway, I'm just rambling at that. Let's see. Let's change this back to, let's turn off the dirt. That's what it was. I think the dirt layer is not a good idea. I mean, I could do a very mild one of like 0.2 maybe. That's starting to be too much. Even 0.1, it's so extreme that maybe a 0.1 would work. It's cool, but it doesn't match any of the other green in the entire rest of the map. So I don't know. It's like, I just wanted it to be like, it's cloth, so I wanted them to be like camo, full-blown camo, whereas like most of the units see is just solid green. Whenever they're metal panels that are painted. But yeah, anyway, I'll just go 0. I like the look of it, but I also feel like it's too much at the same time. Let's put scratches on there. Scratches don't make sense. It is cloth. Let's go with, let's try 0.1, see if they do make sense at that minute amount. Yeah, that's fine. Because the scratches don't go everywhere like the dirt. So if I put scratches, it'll feel like there's dirt there or something. I feel like I have failed on this piece, I believe. There we go. That should seal it up a little bit better. Okay, cool. It's not poking through anymore. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So we've got like different shades of gray, basically, that I think I was going to work with, and then also going to work into that, the other stuff. We're starting to look a little bit more correct here. Like you can see that's not like, these pieces aren't drawing your eye too much anymore because you've got like the doorway and the green. And then we're going to have little objects on the wall or paint or posters or something like that. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to put on the wall, but there's going to be more wall decorations and details. And let's see. So yeah, I think it's time to actually like start to prefab and duplicate this. to make it easier to select, I will prefab it. But then aside from that, I'll need to duplicate. This actually covers up the hole there pretty well, but I don't think that I can delete my extra little block there because it's still not quite flawless. I need the door, so I have that one. I need that piece. And over there... Oh, I need these. And I might need to grab this frame, this frame piece, and put it over here, but I don't want it to be that tall. I actually might still have to adjust the height on these because it's kind of tall, and it's not allowing the Oni building to loom like it's supposed to. But what I was thinking was actually making towards glass from here up and putting a cross frame right there, to where it's like a really reinforced beam, and then having a similar one back here to like be the thick beam that I was talking about that would prevent this from breaking the windows. But anyway, it's just a thought at the moment. Need to prefab them, duplicate them, deselect all, select it, flip it around, and then I'm going to magnet it to realign. I'm going to magnet it there, which is perfect because that was like the last object I selected. So that works out great. If it will actually... What the heck? Oh no, it's not doing it right. Okay, I need to deselect all, make that my magnet point, and then snap it. Or not deselect, but unprefab it. Okay. So now I've got the right alignment so that the doors will line up. And now I need to drag F5, our magnets on, turn off magnets, and then drag them over here, and it would be just inside that part there. Bring this up to line up there, and then over just enough to disappear that into the wall, and then grab this and delete it, and that and delete it, and I think I just realized that I've almost lined it up flawlessly with where the door used to be, which is perfect. Like the other one's inside of this one. Nope, it selected the prefab. Now I gotta find a way to grab it. There we go. That's it. That worked out. Oh, I gotta get those. And now we have that door versus this door. Boom. And they would connect together quite nicely. Yeah, I like that. And that worked out really nice. Now we've got two doors facing each other, and they've got that that structure will go really nicely into that and then there. I kind of like the way that looks. It'll be great frame around this piece whenever it has one of them over here, which would have to be properly aligned because the other one isn't even properly aligned. And that's got to be high enough up that it won't mess with your jump. Yeah, it's out of the way, and it will very nicely, I think, frame that by having all of these angles around it. Yeah, I like it so far. Now these pieces might be a different color later. They might like actually match this dark beam here, and maybe some green on them. Which I will remove them from the prefab for now. Actually, I probably should not remove them from the prefab and then copy it over, but you know, I'll just remove them from the prefab and do the color now. Paint, I will set to the, see if that looks good as the big green style. Excuse me. I'm sneezing a lot all of a sudden. And then the trim, which I think is the one that is the thicker part. I'm going to make it... Where is that trim? Oh, that is the trim. I don't know why it wasn't changing the color before. There we go. Let's see, is that the gray? Is it that kind of dark gray, not black? Yes. Yes, that is the correct dark gray. And then this one is not set to the darkest black, I don't believe. It's that little black stripe there. I might set that to pure black to make it sort of match the doors, which actually do have like a pure black, and right there. And that would be a nice little detail, I think. Because this is the UNSC building. This is UNSC Command, that's UNSC, you know, Barracks, and then this one is ONI, so it's going to look very different. The black may not be able to be there. I might need to switch it off of black, but anyway, just to make the ONI not look weird. But yeah, and then that means I need to do the same thing for these, which I should have done them all at the same time, would have been smarter. But let's see. Well, not change the paint off of the paint swatch texture thing, but just change that. There we go. And then this one, I forget which one I went with. I think it was. Oh, it was the. Yeah, it was the second to the last in the dark section there. And then this bottom one goes to pure black and is shiny. At least that's how it was. Got a little security camera here, and a little security camera over here. Just throwing them everywhere to be like, you know, like someone's watching. Excuse me. Okay. For slurping. Oh, I was gonna ask, dang it. I was gonna ask Ripshade about this, that's why I left it weird. Oh no. He's not here right now, I don't think. Ripshade, if you're watching, I had this option where I turned it into a curve, and basically had the same little like Overwatch spot here, which would actually kind of match that thing down there. Or I had the original option, which was a like a little square, in which case it would look more like this, be a little Overwatch spot. And both of them work. But I need to get your feedback on which one you think would be better. And we could, for example, make this one look a little different with coloring and stuff like that. But if you're here, Ripshade, then please give me that feedback real quick. And if you just showed up, because I see that one person just joined, then let me know. But anyone else is here who has an opinion on it can let me know too. If you think it looks better rounded and make it sort of like a little curved spot there, or if you think it looks better squared off, where it's like it feels more like, to me, the rounded feels like you're covering the staircase, and the squared off feels like it's a perch to actually take on everyone down there, as like a visual thing, just like yes, you can use both of them for both of those things, but like visually, like I might not feel like I should come up to this edge to confront people down there. I would feel like I need to duck behind cover if it's round, you know what I mean? I don't know. Dude, do you have a conceptual art for this map? Not really. Ripshade made a block out, and I am arting it. Why? Do you want to see one? I mean, I could go look for one. But the idea... Jeez. I mostly go off of, like, you know, knowledge of what the pieces are in the thing, and... Why are you yelling at me that? You just walked in here. Why are you yelling like I wasn't listening to you before or something? And he wants to know how to get something to eat. Do you want to go get a snack? I can get it for you if you need me to, but it is getting close to time for me to get off. But yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I'll get you something to eat. Don't worry. But yeah, no, I don't have a concept art. I will have to go soon, but I'm just letting you know that I don't have a concept art to go off of. What I'm doing is, yeah, like I said, I'm looking at his block out, and it inspired a bunch of. Why is it doing this? Like it just it's jumping around with the scaling as soon as I touch the things, and I don't understand why. Anyway, this will snap right back into place like this, but it's very strange. I'm very free form, I guess. But yeah, I think people underestimate not having one. I think having one and sticking to an already realized idea is the foundation for a map to look great. I mean, yeah. I do think that I'm gonna go. I could just go and grab some, like, you know, concept arts, but like, let's see. I'll show you just a second. Like, I used a concept art for this. This is an actual, you know, it's based directly off of. Here, I'll just duplicate and bring it out so you can actually see what it is. This is a Forerunner slipspace drive, according to Halo Warfleet. Good music, just for the timing. Show this off. So that was off of a concept art, and I just, you know, I did it as well as I could, as accurately as I could, while also maintaining a semblance of playability to where, like, this is, oh jeez, to where it's not just up, you know, you can actually drop down to here, and there's like a little bit of area here to run around and be able to use this cover to do stuff. And then, but then this, I didn't use any concept art for, and I think it looks amazing. So, a little bit of both, you know what I mean? I just wanted glass. I was like, I saw this block here, that's Ripshade's block. I don't think I changed this one at all in its size or anything. And I saw how he had orange floor, like this stuff, where he had just done the block out, and he just slapped some orange floor down here to make a floor. And the way that protruded in gave me the idea. I was like, I can see that all of the orange gets turned into glass instead, so you can see down below. And I was going to do a nuclear reactor down there, but this is instead we went with a Forerunner research facility, which was really cool, in an asteroid. But the point is that yeah, I was just like, okay, I want to put a glass thing down there, and then I just sort of felt out the visuals of everything else. So once I get to this point where I'm at this detail level in other rooms, it should look about the same quality. These, by the way, were chosen, these servers are chosen specifically so they can be dynamic objects, and I can have them open like this, and allow you to drop down in here to get down there later. Whenever, if you're playing with more than 4v4, the level is going to open up a bunch of doors. Specifically, this door is gonna be closed in 4v4. If you go to Big Team Battle, if you come in here with more players, this door is going to open up and open up the entire exterior of the map. In addition to that, this is going to open up, and it's going to allow you to drop down through there. And this elevator is going to, right now, it's scripted to move up to about right around here at this height, and then stay there, which means you can't hop down to the below, but you can use it as a platform to shoot from and jump up here, which was where Ripshade originally blocked it out to be. And then whenever you come in here with Big Team Battle, it's going to be scripted to move up to this floor, then move up to that floor, then move down to this floor, then move down to this floor, and then move down to basement floor, and then move back up, and then move back up. It's going to basically be going on a loop. So that's going to be cool. And then there's going to be a door. Okay, I'm going to show you where I actually plopped the door so it's easier to see. I know I'm flying around everywhere. Let me give you a better vantage point. In here is the quote-unquote barracks. This door right here is the barracks. It's going to open. I just slapped this in here just to show. It's more of a block-out spot. And actually, there's also some weird bug involving doorways looking like sand right now. But anyway, it'll go into this block, which is representing where the barracks is going to be, and that's going to have like a way up onto the roof up here, which is going to be like a balcony looking down into this, and looking down over here into this. But the point is that, yeah, so Big Team Battle, it's going to open up, it's going to be a much bigger map. So what you can do, the purpose of all of this, I don't need these at all right now. I think I just put them in here so I could tell, I can answer a question for Aaron whenever he was asking about a color he chose for one of them last night. But I don't need them. Anyway, so what's going to happen is you can go into the custom game browser, load up this map with 24 maximum players. You then start playing, maybe, and we're also going to put scripts in there that's going to fill out with bots to 4v4 at the beginning. And then once you exceed 4v4, it's going to, and it goes to higher, it's going to fill out bots to 16 versus to 8v8. Just a second. And then once you get above 8v8, it's going to fill up to 20 players maximum, so that a fire team of 4 players can join in, and it's still, and bring it up to 24, and then we can take out some bots down to 20 again, or until we have no more bots, or it's 20, whichever's lower. But anyway, the point is that you'll be able to start a match in the custom game browser as it is currently, and just play with bots until players join in, and it'll be 4v4 match in this tighter arena. As it gets as more people join in, eventually it will get bigger and bigger and scale up with you. So if you want to play big team battle, you can jump into this until you have enough players to play big team battle, and just play 4v4 while you wait. And then if you want to play 4v4, you can actually just say maximum in my game type mode settings, maximum players is 8, and then that way it will 4 on each team, and it will just limit it. It'll never get high enough for the script to trigger and make the map open up to be big team battle. So you'll always have fewer people, or you always have the right number of people in the map. But yeah, because it won't allow me to, I don't think it'll allow me to add bots if it's at 8 players already, and you limit the number of players to 8. I'm pretty sure bots are considered players. I actually haven't tested that, so we might have trouble with that. But anyway, but I'm pretty sure it should work. So basically, yeah, I don't know how I got into that from whenever you asked about visuals, but yeah. The point is that this is why I'm sort of... because, oh, right, it was this. I was not worried too much about... I'm not too worried about... See, are you a programmer? Well, also, isn't that an option that already comes as normal in the game mode, or does it have to be added to the map? So, I learned some programming in university, but in college, but my car broke down, and it was over an hour away because I was going to college in a different city, and I ended up having to withdraw from college after a couple of years of it, so I never got my degree, unfortunately. So I didn't finish all of the courses in programming, but I do have several years of programming knowledge there, and a lot of amateur knowledge. So I am a programmer, but not the best programmer. What I will say, basically, yes, you can do that in the game mode option, but if you set it to 24 players in the game mode option, that's where I'm going to take over with my scripts after that. But basically, if you set it to 24 players in the game mode options, I can't see what you set it to with my scripting. The game mode scripts, the script brains in the map, can't see what your maximum player was setting to. It just sees how many players are in the match right now. You know what I mean? So I'm making it scale dynamically so that you can set it to 24 players if you want maximum 24 players, but now the map will handle from there whether or not the map is the right size for how many players you're putting in. So that allows you to dynamically create a custom game match, let it be 4v4 until you have enough players to actually go big team battle. And if you want to go in full big team battle, then yeah, you can do that. But because, I guess because you can't, the main problem is that you can't, I don't need these right here, but anyway, the main problem is that you can't just like the way they programmed it right now to handle number of players and stuff like that is entirely on the game mode side, and so I can't except for testing how many players are actually in the match. So yes, it's on the game mode side, but I don't like the way they handle it on the game mode side, because it just doesn't give us the ability to use the custom game browser to its full potential. That's what I'm trying to say. The custom game browser is being wasted the way it is, because the custom game browser is set up to where you can't just tell it, like in Master Chief Collection, you can tell it to wait until there's enough players. I know I'm putting the controller down completely just to talk, but in Master Chief Collection you can set do not start the match until you have this many players. Also, there's a lot more player base in the custom games in general. the custom game browser right now is mostly dead because all of the maps, you go in there and you go, there's only 2 people in that. I don't really want to play just a 3v3 in a big team battle map. I want to play, you know, if it's going to be few people, I'm going to pick the smaller map. But then people are going in there to try and make big team battle maps, and then no one's joining, and then it's just, that match is just dying. So then people are bouncing off the custom game browser because the custom game browser is full of matches that are inappropriate for their map size, or inappropriate player number for their map size, or inappropriate, you know, just not, people are bouncing off them very easily, is what I'm saying. And the reason they're bouncing off of them is because of all these problems. And so my map is going to, me and Ripshade's map is going to scale dynamically with your number of players, so that we can so that you can actually make it and just wait for people to join and still play on a normal map and, you know, enjoy yourself until enough players join to be able to be playing you know, more correctly. I'm looking off over there because that's where chat is, so I feel like I'm looking at you whenever I'm there, but really you're over here. But anyway, 343 should do something with the custom game browser. Exactly. I have a big team battle map, but I can only play against bots. Exactly. So like the custom game browser is going to be adjusted. It is currently in its beta. They released it in beta form, so it's not even in final, much less is it 90% done in final, like what they say. They're always going to release stuff if it's 90% done now, because they want to get it out faster. Well, it's not even 90% done in final, it's 90% done in beta. So like, and that technically they said they're going to release things at 90% done after they came out with the custom game browser, so it may not be matching that doctrine anyway. It could be like 80% done, but like they're planning on overhauling it. They've mentioned that on Twitter a lot. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be real, real interesting to figure out how they're gonna do it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, it's they get to it fast, because it's kind of we're kind of you know, needing it to work properly. But yeah. Anyway, I was about to say, like I was saying a minute ago, I gotta get my daughter some breakfast, and I gotta get going, and so I will catch you guys later. I forgot if I was in the middle of a thought with that or anything, but if I was going to finish it, but I can't remember. Yeah, the point is, though, yeah, that's why my map is going to scale. It's because I want the custom game. I want it to work in the custom game browser as it is now, and later when they make updates to the custom game browser, it's still going to work. You're still going to be able to make a 24-game player match and let this map dynamically scale. And I guess the only reason it may not work is if they say, if they have in Master Chief Collection, you can toggle don't start until I have enough players, right? Or no, you can toggle, you can do the minimum players. You can set to like 4 players minimum, and then like 16 players maximum, and then as soon as you get 4 players, the match will start. So if they do that, if they keep that, then this map will still work perfectly fine in custom game browser, if they do the updates to match more like Master Chief Collection. Because what will happen is that you would set your minimum to like 8, or even 2. You know what I mean? You can set your minimum to like 2, and as soon as another player joins, it'll be you and them, and then it'll fill it out with bots until more players join, and it'll build up. You could even set it possibly to 1, and then let it just start immediately. Your map will, I guess I'll put a visual up here since I'm talking again, but yeah. Basically, yeah, if you set it to minimum 1, maximum 16, then as soon as you start the custom game browser, it'll start your match, and you'll be playing against bots until other people join, and it'll still do the dynamic scaling. If they do something weird where they go, no, it will not start the match until you have your maximum players full, which would be terrible, because no match would ever start in the custom game browser, so it would just be a horrible design, so I really don't think they're going to do that. They're not that dumb. And, you know, they have Master Chief Collection to go off of, and they now have the dude who is in charge of Master Chief Collection leading them, so of course he's going to do it right. He was in charge when they made the custom game browser on Master Chief Collection, so I assume they're going to make it, you know, as good as that. But the point is that, yeah, if they do that, then it'll still work, it'll still scale, so this is future-proof. It will be a really cool style of map. And I want to see more and more maps built this way, because I don't think every map should be only big team battle or only 4v4 arena. The more maps that have this kind of scripting for dynamic scale, the better, because custom game mode maps, like, these will dominate the custom games. Like, people who will make, will play whatever maps they want, sure, but maps like this are going to be in the custom game browser like every single day. Not necessarily this one. I'm not saying that this is going to be the best map that makes people always want to have it in custom game browser necessarily, but I'm saying that maps like this, I am predicting once we have multiple of them, will dominate custom games, and then the standard maps will dominate, obviously, playlists, like the what do you call it, matchmaking, and there will be, like, yeah, basically every other map in custom game browser I predict is going to be being swapped out. Like, some days you'll see it, some days you won't. But I predict that these maps, you're going to get, like, the best ones that are made like this are going to end up being in custom game browser forever. Like, just every single day, with just, like, maybe disappearing for one day and then coming back the next day and being there for another week. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be there all the time. And because they're just going to be so much more fun to play that dynamic scaling. So once I get the scripting done for this and I explain to people how to do it, then I can see you guys can be able to just make your own that'll do the same thing. So I'm going to make a YouTube video that explains how to do it yourself. Obviously, I'm probably going to, I might script it on stream. It might not, because whenever I start scripting on stream, everyone leaves. Like, my viewers dip to like 1 or 2 people. Whenever I don't script on stream, and I'm doing art, it'll go up to like 8 or so people. Someone sent a message. Floor half A is the piece I was talking about. You should give it a try, I think. Cool. Yeah. So basically, I'll take a look at the rest of that. It disappeared, so I couldn't read the rest of it. But anyway, someone sent a message in, like, in Halo. Anyway, this is all what I'm trying to say, is basically, I think this kind of dynamically scaling map is going to dominate a lot of Halo Infinite's design. It's something that's never been possible before. It wasn't possible in Halo 4 or in Halo 5 with its scripting, because you couldn't, I don't think you could count the number of players on a team. Maybe you could, I don't know, but yeah. Music stopped, my kids want breakfast. It's just about 1:30 over where I am, which is sounds like weird for breakfast, but we live on California time, so we're way off on our timing and all that stuff. But anyway, I gotta get going. It's actually more like lunch for them, but the point is, yeah. I'll catch you guys later.